And that pretty much sums up my motivation to replace the front main seal on the Miata right now. But I have done some work on the car, let me show you. So other than catching up on Konosuba Season 2, I did a full oil change on this, changed the filter and the oil. Super important to do that like quite a few times after you're braking in, like during the braking period of your engine. There's a lot of like the first layer of like the bearing material and all the stuff that's gonna get dumped in the oil. And you wanna keep switching it out with new stuff to flush it all out. But anyways, that aside, we've done an oil change and I've got this thing up on jack stands and we are ready to start pulling down this whole thing again. I'm gonna take the radiator out, we're gonna take everything out, get the harmonic balancer off, get that front main seal replaced, which I have here. So pretty excited to slip this in. I did a bit of research and a lot of people use a bit of RTV on the outside of this. So I'm gonna do a thin layer of RTV to slide it in. Obviously the inside is the crank and moving, so we're not putting it there, but just on the outside to help put that in. But for now, let's, I guess, pull this all down. All right, here we go, about to make a huge mess. Luckily we got this Harbor Freight bucket here. Who remembers at Moon Eyes in Japan, these were selling for 20 bucks? Who remembers that? I should take a couple back with me, make some bank. All right, luckily Mishimoto has this really nice radiator bung here, which is perfect for just dropping your entire coolant system. Let's see, are we gonna make a mess or is it gonna go straight in the bucket? Please, 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 please go straight in the bucket. Oh God, it's all down my elbow. There, great. I'm a bit wet now. So now that I've got the radiator out of here, that's giving me a lot more room to work on the front of the engine. We are gonna have to take the valve cover off. We've got to take off the accessories belt here, take off the pulley for the water pump, take off the harmonic balancer, all these plastic pieces to then get to the main seal under there. I think I've shown you guys how to pretty much do this before, so I'm gonna try to whip through it as much as I can, get it back together, and then take it for some test drives. It feels so wrong having to take this valve cover off. I'm actually pretty upset about this, but we gotta do it. We gotta fix this thing up. Oh no, the gasket's sticking to the RTV in the corners. Oh boy. Hopefully it doesn't break. Yeah, we're good, we're good. All right. There we go. All right, valve cover is off, and I have to say, still looks beautifully clean in here. Man, I almost want to like eat off it. Of course I'd never do that, but still, it looks so good. Come look at this. Have you ever taken a valve cover off a Miata and seen that?
That looks good.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that just like the most satisfying thing ever?
Yeah, mine's all red and red and burnt.
You're about to have that too, Chris. Well, hopefully you don't have to take your valve cover off like I did a second time.
I'm gonna change my front main first.
Yeah, change the front main on the boundary pump when you get it. It's just so nice seeing how clean that is in there. So I've now finished pulling down the entire engine, and you can really get a good look at what's been happening here. The front main has definitely been leaking. You can see it's been leaking out of the bottom there when the camera focuses. The lighting may be a bit too harsh for the camera, but you can really see it's been leaking out of the bottom there. Then the belt's been picking it up and splashing it all up here. You can see some engine oil here. You can see it even coming up the top here and dripping back down. And that's just because the oil's coming up from the front main leaking. So luckily, obviously we caught this now and it didn't start happening with the new owner. So I'm really happy that we were able to do this while I still have the car. So what I'm gonna do now, switch out that front main and then we'll go get back to it, I guess. Like, I mean, there's not really much to it. It's just gotta get a pick, pull that out, tap the new one in with that new tool that James gave me. I'll show you the 3D printed one and we'll pick it up from there. It is now time to put this new front main seal in. We got this lovely tool that was 3D printed for us by James.
Thank you, James.
Thank you very much, James. He's been a huge help, man.
100%.
I'm just gonna get down here and check that I haven't like pinched the edges at all, making sure it's gonna go in smooth. Then we slide this bad boy over, like so.
And then you get the bolt, right?
I mean, you don't even need the bolt. You can just use a hammer and just tap it.
fancy.
Fancy, right?
The things,
taking the sway bar out, but
the things you can do with technology.
yeah, 3D printing's really changed like a bunch of stuff, hey?
Like I might get them to make me a little centerpiece for my shift boot thing because I'm missing
Yeah, like
one.
even just cup holders in cars and stuff, like with GTRs and S chassis, people have been able to AutoCAD a bunch of stuff like that up.
Just make sure you don't push it too far now.
Yeah, and there you go. So this is like 3D printed a certain way so that you can only push it so far so that you don't over push it.
That's good.
Now it's installed. Hopefully.
Sick.
No more leaks.
Yep.
Please. So just taking a quick break from assembling the front of the engine because Chris is over here working on the Rice Miata, and a bunch of people were commenting and asking if Chris's was the same. And I wanted to show you guys, see how his is not full of oil whatsoever? And like, even though mine, the other day when I took the feed line off and it was full of oil, that had been sitting overnight, not started. And the same with Chris's car, yet you can see his is fully drained and not full of oil. So that. Also, a few people were asking if I had like the cores flipped upside down. It's impossible to do that because the feed lines have a thread and a small round insert up the top here. The drain line's just a big open square. So definitely not the case on mine. But yeah, Chris's turbo drains and fills up with oil and flows no problem. Mine has something internally wrong, like a blockage or wasn't machined correctly, and just holds all the oil in the core. I've gotten everything back together now, and it's time to bleed the coolant. I've just unplugged the cam angle sensor. As I said earlier in the video, I did an oil change on this and a new filter, so I want to bring up oil pressure before doing anything else. We've got a fully charged battery, so it shouldn't be an issue cranking this thing. So we're just going to crank until we see oil pressure come on the dash. Gonna take a while to fill that oil pump up. Sorry, oil filter. There it goes. So now we know it's got oil pressure. Now what we wanna do is plug the cam angle sensor back in. And we should be able to start this thing. All right, here we go. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah. Now I did plug that IAC in. What the? So I stopped recording because the weirdest thing happened, but check this out, right? If I turn the key just so the ignition's on, fuel pump primes, my car is in reverse. See the reverse lights? And then get this. We're in neutral. Foot's on the clutch. Let's start it. All right, so we're chilling here now. Check this out, right? Neutral, 100% neutral. Let's let the clutch out and see what happens. We're moving backwards, dude. How is this possible?
I've heard it happen, just never seen it before.
Look. And I'm in neutral. I can shift into first gear, and then when I let the clutch out, the car goes to stall. It's like locked in reverse. I've never seen that before. So weird.
Gotta do some research.
So after a little bit of Googling, I've discovered that apparently the reverse lockout switch in these transmissions gets stuck sometimes. And someone specifically mentioned that it happened to him when he had it in gear when he was trying to tighten the crank pulley. And yeah, guess what I was doing today? Exactly. So it seems like I've now gotten the reverse lockout locked, and it's stuck in reverse now. So, never experienced that before. I was a bit worried like my tranny was broke or something. Anyways, we're gonna jack this car up, pull the reverse lockout switch out, and apparently you gotta put a little lever in there or a flathead screwdriver and just kind of push it back in. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna show you guys it. But it's just so funny because every single time I try to fix one thing, what happens, Alex?
Something always happens.
Something always happens. Cars, man, I love them. All right, lads, so welcome to Under the Miata. This up here is the culprit. So apparently I gotta screw that out and then get a little screwdriver and stick it in there and flick a little mechanical lever or something. So I'm gonna do that now, and hopefully we got a screwdriver small enough to go in there. Let's find out. So we're still under the car. I got this sensor pulled out here, and all I did was I just got this little tiny screwdriver here, this little guy here, and I put it in the hole, and then I like kind of jiggled it around, and then I felt like a lever kind of shift in, and then I got Alex on the top of the car to shift, and it goes into all the gears now and goes into reverse. Before, it would only go into first and second, third, fourth, fifth, and reverse were locked out, and it was stuck in reverse when in neutral. Put it in neutral. It's in neutral? Okay, great. So I'm gonna put all this back together now and we should be fine. Apparently this is like a super common Miata thing. Alex, have you heard of this before?
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it in person.
Isn't that insane that it literally just happened to me?
Wow.
Jeez, I think I've been here too long. Rod knock luck is really starting to rub off, I feel.
You know who's shopping right now.
That's true, yeah. And he's like barely here at the moment, so I'm just absorbing it all. It's all rubbing off on me, yeah. Car is back on the ground. Let's hope we're really in neutral this time, yeah? Okay. Jeez, man. There we go. Let's see. Letting my foot off the clutch. You're kidding. Oh, I hate you, Alex. All right, slowly letting the clutch out. Oh, we're actually neutral, thank God. Oh. Show the people, no reverse lights. All right, it serves me right. I trolled Chris today. This cam angle sensor trick again. We're not in reverse anymore. I really do like the sound of this thing. These injectors are pretty loud. Huh? Sounds like a street bike. Oh, okay. I'll accept that. So we are out taking the car for a little test drive, making sure all is okay. Feels so good. Listen. You guys notice anything different? You notice anything different? I mean, if the China turbo is broken, might as well send it, right, lads? Yeah, boy! So Alex has been helping me out a ton, and I wanted to let him just take it for a little rip around the car park, because the thing is so responsive. The light and flywheel I put in there, you can really feel it super well. Oh, here he comes. Here, boy. He's babying it though, man. Like, I was riding this thing out to 7K. Oh, here he comes again. So good, right? He's gonna keep ripping it. Yo, what do you think? What do you think?
It's really good.
Really good?
Whoever's gonna win this, they're gonna like it, especially when you change that turbo out.
Yeah. Like, do you feel how responsive it is with the light and flywheel and stuff?
Super responsive. Like,
it's kind of crazy.
That last one is when I actually, like, you know, fully matted it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's good.
It's fun, right?
It's fun.
I love that you're like the only other person in this workshop where your head's like either above or level with the roof. I always feel like I can like just prop myself in the seat up and look over the roof and the hood.
Like
yeah, you can just go like that, right? It's nice, right? Hell yeah. All right, let's bring it inside, check for leaks, but I'm pretty certain we are A-okay. I'm so pumped that this thing has no leaks, no problems. It's boosting better than ever. It seems like all the cleaning and the air compressor spraying through the turbo may have cleared it up a bit to flow a lot better. It's not smoking like it was before. It's seriously so good, and the thing sounds amazing. It really does. Just like I am sure the camera doesn't do this justice, but it really does sound incredible. And the way this thing idles, it's smooth, it's butter smooth. The only noise really that comes from this engine bay is the injectors, but it just runs and sounds so freaking good. Oh man, I can't wait till the reinforced engine mounts come too, so we can stop this thing from dancing around so much, but it sounds so good. Alex, it really is, like, I'm sure the camera does not do this justice, like the mic and stuff, but like this thing.
Someone else to drive it. This thing's definitely.
Like how do you describe what it sounds like in person?
I don't know.
Like, have you ever heard a Miata sound like this?
No. This Miata sounds nothing like any of the other Miatas I've ever heard.
Right?
Yeah.
I got no words. Just brought the Miata back into the workshop, and I once again checked over everything under the car, not a single leak. Also, one other thing I need to show you guys is, check this out. We got ourselves another dipstick again. So I just JB welded this on, and it's pretty sick. Also, a bunch of people, I just want to clarify this, I did reply to some comments about it. People were saying that the front main popped out because of the crankcase pressure, and I just want to make it very, very clear that yes, I did have a cap on there when we were doing the dyno tune, but that didn't cause enough crank pressure to pop out the front main. The reason for that is the dipstick never popped out. This would pop out way before a front main would. Also, I tested crankcase pressure. I do have the PCV valve and everything like that in here, so no pressure would have been going in like that. And I tested this when I had this run to a bottle, and I had a GoPro set up there to see if anything was coming out of it, and nothing was. Now, obviously, I also revved up the engine and held a piece of tissue paper in front of it to see if any crankcase pressure was coming out. It's not like the most scientific way to know that there's crankcase pressure, like, you know, being able to somehow measure it with a gauge would be nicer, but there was literally no crankcase pressure when this thing was boosting up. So I think we're pretty well safe there. And yeah, nothing has come out of here at all onto the turbo during those last couple rips. So I was expecting to see a couple drops of oil or something come out, nothing. So the crankcase is definitely venting perfectly fine. Otherwise though, this thing is pretty much flawless. And at this point, I think I can probably start driving it around a little bit more and putting some miles on it to really break it in. And then we'll do one more oil change. We'll switch out the hot side and go from there. I don't want to push this turbo any more than what it already is now because of the condition of it. We obviously know it's you know, how you're going. So we don't want to risk that. And cause, you know, like if that explodes and sends things into the engine, that would be bad news. So we'll keep it at 8 PSI at wastegate and not go any more than that. Also, you're probably wondering why all of a sudden this car has flutter. Well, your boy Sammy likes flutter, and yes, I did say that only little girls run bobs, and all I did was simply just turn the thing down to hard so it doesn't open, and now we got ourselves some flutter without having to build myself a block-off plate. So, you know, obviously the winner can decide if they want that bob to work or not by just unwinding that. But for now, the flutter sounds great. So here is where we're gonna leave today's video, guys. I am beyond excited that we were able to get the whole thing fixed today and running perfect with not a single problem. And yes, we did have a bunch of teething issues, which is totally normal for a build like this, especially in how in-depth we went with it, you know, full forged engine and stuff like that. These things are expected, so don't ever be discouraged when this happens, when you put stuff back together after changing a bunch of parts, because you gotta realize every part that you change, there's a small percentage that, you know, it may be a faulty part, it may be bad from the factory and stuff like that, or you may have installed it wrong if it's like you're not super experienced in it. And there's all these things like that that can happen, especially when you're touching a bunch of stuff. Don't mind me, I'm putting tools away right now. But yeah, these things happen. The car's running great now. We took it for a few rips, not a single leak, and it feels incredible. The turbo seems to not be smoking as much anymore, so it seems like whatever blockage was in there, maybe I cleaned it out a little bit, although I'm pretty sure it's still not draining correctly, because all those bench tests that we did, it definitely was just not doing what it should be doing. So as you guys know, this week we're expecting a new package to arrive, which will be replacing the hot side, so get excited for that. And also by the end of the week, we will be announcing the winner. I'll be getting in contact with them. Now, the way that I think it's gonna plan out is over the next couple weeks, probably around the time that I'm gonna try to leave the US is when I'm gonna organize like a couple days before that for them to come pick up the car, and we'll shoot the video and do all that kind of stuff. Just because I think it'd be really cool if we can end on my time here in the USA with that. You know, the person picking it up, their reaction, them getting to drive it. I think that'll be the best way to do it. So I'll talk to them, and obviously there's a few more mods and stuff that I've got a bunch of boxes in there to still put on the car. So we'll be doing that for the next few days as well. There's a bunch of stuff happening, and a lot of things are actually still gonna be changing in the engine bay when the new turbo arrives. So anyways, that aside, I'm gonna keep putting away tools and cleaning them. I hope you love this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're watching and you haven't subbed yet. Content's only gonna keep getting better and better, and when we get back to Japan, I have some crazy news and goals to share with you, some exciting things that are happening there. But for now, like I said, smash the like button, write us a comment, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's video. Peace out. Jamata.